Shalom, all praise to Yahweh Shemiel Shah, double honor to the apostles of GMS. This is Amnawa Allah coming at you another video. And in this video, I'm going to be focusing on 1 Thessalonians 2 and 4. And basically, Apostle Paul just referencing pleasing men pleasing. So let's get into that. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. Let's go right to the verse. But as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High which trieth our hearts. Okay. Got the word pleasing.
Strong's G 700. Aresco.
Aresco. To please, to strive to please, to accommodate oneself to the opinions, desires, and interests of others. So somebody is men pleasing. A person that's trying to accommodate themselves to the opinions and desires, and interests of others. That's a man pleaser. So Apostle Paul said, no, not as pleasing men, but pleasing the Most High, which trieth our hearts. Got that word try it.
Strong's G 1381. Dokimadzo.
Dokimadzo. To test, examine, prove, scrutinize, which that means to examine. To see whether a thing is genuine or not as metals, to recognize as genuine after examination, to approve, deem worthy. So, we don't, the Apostle Paul, go back. He said they were entrusted with the gospel. Even so we speak. So that's what they speak in the gospel. But they're not as pleasing men. See? Not as pleasing men. So that's very important. Because if you read verse 2, it says, But even after that, we had suffered before and were shamefully entreated, as you know at Philippi, we were bold in our power to speak unto the gospel of the Most High with much contention. So he was bold to speak the gospel with much contention. What's the word contention?
Strong's G 73. Agon.
Agon. A battle. So there's many different things about a battle. We know the word contention derives from the word contender, conflict, contest, combat. If I didn't use that word already. So what he's saying is they spoke the word with much contention. And then he said, For our exhortation was not of deceit, nor of uncleanness, nor of guile, but as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High which trieth our hearts. So the Apostle Paul spoke the word with much contention, much battle, much strife. But he spake it not as pleasing men, because had he spake it to please men, he would have bit his tongue. He would have refrained. Oh, hold on. This is Acts chapter 20, verse 27. For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High. That's the Apostle Paul speaking. So the Apostle Paul said he didn't shun to declare the all the counsel of the Most High.
Strong's G 5288. Hupastello. Hupastello.
Draw back, let down, lower, to withdraw. Of a timid person. See that? To withdraw oneself, i.e. to be timid, to cover, shrink. Of those who from timidity hesitate to avow what they believe. See? They really believe something, but they're timid about it. And they're hesitating to avow. What's that word, avow? Avow means to declare openly and frankly, especially something believed to be true, or right, or to confess or admit something openly without shame. You see? It implies a bold and assertive acknowledgement, often in the face of potential criticism or opposition. For example, someone might avow their innocence or avow their support for a particular cause. See? They give you different meanings here, whatever. But you get my drift. What's going on? Open declaration. A vow means to state something openly and publicly without reservation. Frank acknowledgement. It involves admitting something even if it might be embarrassing or unpopular. Bold assertions. A vow can also refer to declaring something strongly and confidently as if one is sure of its truth. Responsibility. When someone avows something, they take responsibility for it. Related to vows, the word vow is related to vow. The word vow is related to vow, which means to make a solemn promise or commitment. So the Apostle Paul spoke these things without reservation. He wasn't reserved about it. He spoke about it openly. When you go here, it says to strength. It says of those who from timidity hesitate to avow what they believe, to be unwilling to utter from fear, to shrink. And one more thing, I don't know if my phone is acting up. It's been acting up for the past 4 days, few days. It fell, so it's like flashing black. So I don't know if y'all gonna see that if it gets uploaded. If so, Salakia. So it says to be unwilling to utter from fear, to shrink from declaring, to conceal, dissemble. So the Apostle Paul, he wasn't timid about the word, man. Remember we read that he spoke the word with contention. He said, not as pleasing men, but the Most High trieth our hearts. So ultimately the Most High is the one that determines whether we righteous or not men. It's ultimately up to the Most High. Verse Ephesians 6:5. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling and singleness of your heart, as unto the Yahushua, the anointed, not with eye service, as men pleasers, but as the servants of the Most High, doing the will of the Most High from the heart. So not with eye service. What does it mean, eye service? When you're under the service of someone's eyes. I mean, when you're under the watchful eye of somebody. Or let me do this because this person watching.
Strong's G 3787. Ophthalmodulea.
Ophthalmodulea. Service performed only under the master's eyes, for the master's eye usually stimulates the greater diligence. See, the master's eye usually stimulates to greater diligence. Oh shoot, that's a boss. Let's act on like we on point. Yeah, because when you're under that master's eye, it's going to stimulate a greater diligence. You're going to be more diligent because you know you're under the eye of the boss. His absence, on the other hand, renders sluggish. Yeah, but when you're not under the master's eye, not under eye service, guess what? You're going to be sluggish. You're going to be lazy because you weren't really sincere in whatever your duty is. In this case, you got to praise the Most High, Yahweh Bashmel Shah, with singleness of heart. You got to be focused with sincerity and truth and honesty. Okay, with no deceit, no guile, wholeheartedly. So you're supposed to do this whether you're under the watchful eye of someone or not. You're always supposed to live according to the gospel, to this word, to this truth. And a lot of people don't do that. You know, oh shoot, this brother coming, let me act like, I'm real diligent. But then when you're not around, you're doing the opposite.
Strong's G 441. Anthropodiscos.
Anthropodiscos. Studying to please man, courting the favor of men. Self-explanatory. See, I want to please men, not the Most High. That was a definition, yeah. But that was good. I didn't have to read it. Now with eye serving, that was a good definition there, but I didn't have to read it. Now with eye service as men pleasers, because it basically said the same thing we're breaking down now. But as the servants of the anointed, doing the will of the Most High from the heart. So you got to do it from your heart. With goodwill doing service as to the Lord and not to men. So this is to the Most High Yahweh Shema Shah. We're not doing this for men. That's some other camps out there. They're trying to please Nathan. They're trying to please their followers. They want to be looked at in a good light and everybody. We don't really care. We're not wearing these color coded like garments. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wearing the same kind of garment and trying to look all spiffy. We don't do all of that. We just go out and teach. The spirit of how about Shah. This is Galatians chapter 1 verse 8 to 10. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. Now obviously an angel from heaven is not going to go and preach something different. You know what I'm saying? But he's just saying that to describe, the Apostle Paul is saying this to describe its seriousness. No matter who said it, no matter what their rank is, no matter what their level of authority is, that person is to be accursed. Okay? Damned, condemned. Even if they teach another gospel. As we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you that ye have received, let him be accursed. For do I now persuade men or the Most High? The Most High, not men. Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of the anointed, of the Messiah, Yahushua. So it's not about pleasing men. We don't care what nobody says. That's the Apostle Paul saying, I don't care what nobody teach. We're not about pleasing men here. We're about pleasing Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's the mentality you're supposed to have. Pray to the Most High that you worship the Most High and the Son in singleness of heart, with focus. If you have a single heart, then this is the number one priority in your life. That don't mean nothing else is important to you. Your family, your children, even your job. It don't mean it's not important to you. But, none of that is above the Lord. I'm saying didn't the Lord say, he that loves father, mother, son, or daughter more than me is not worthy of me? So we're not about pleasing men. It's all about Yahweh Shem Shah. So this is just a short lesson, just for brothers to understand that. So if you're doing videos, don't do video. I'm gonna do a video because this brother right here might be watching. You know what? I ain't do a video in 4 months. Ain't nobody watching. I was kind of half-assing it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really paying attention. But then when somebody get on you, now you want to act like you want a ball now. Because you're not really sincere. You got to pray to the Most High, how about you to increase your faith. So with that, I'm going to close and say, praise you, how about you, Holy brother, learn something, Shalom.